Hanasaku Iroha is one of my favorites, yet I feel like the show has been sorely overlooked. Though it may at first seem like another bland slice-of-life drama, especially considering the first episode might not give the best impression of there being much substance to it, there's actually a lot more to the show than you might think. Of course, I can't dismiss the fact that the circumstance around which I watched the show strongly affected my relationship with it, but regardless, I do think it's worth your time, and I'll do my best to explain why, even if it's through my deeply personal lens of experience. The show introduces us to Ohana shortly before she is forced to stay with her estranged grandmother at a hot springs inn. Her mother is taking a trip away with her boyfriend of the time, caught up in a foolish scheme. Her mother's passive, even apathetic attitude towards caring for her daughter is a deep and recurring source of distress for our poor Ohana. In addition to this, her longtime childhood friend confesses to her before she leaves, and she is unable to give him a solid answer. This confession weighs deep on her mind throughout the series. By then forcing Ohana into a new and unfamiliar setting with the hot springs inn, we're granted a deeper look into her psyche, and it serves as a great way to spark some self-reflection on her behalf. Ohana is bold, curious, and always looking towards the positive, perhaps as a defense mechanism for her mother's lack of care for her. No matter what life throws at her, she always keeps fighting. But Ohana isn't perfect. She's not just an ideal human, she doesn't have life figured out. Ohana is naive, prone to butt into situations that may be beyond her, all while she's struggling with doubts and the interpersonal struggles that come with adolescence, all exasperated by her mother's indifference. And yet she fights on, chin up, smile wide, always looking for the best in people. That will to live, to really live, enjoying every moment and not letting the struggles keep you down, is something I strive for and strongly admire. Ohana is the antithesis to the apathy I often struggle with, and is an encouraging light in the dark world around her, with her outgoing, positive, and forgiving attitude strongly impacting the people around her, and in my case, the person watching her. Even then, she has much to learn, from the start of the series to the end of it, and even beyond that, yet still she is always curious and eager to do so. She wants to change for the better, to figure out the world, to figure out herself, something I try to do more and more with each day. That said, the aspect to her character that connected with me the most of all, and that genuinely impacted my life at the time, was that of her key struggle. Ohana is struck by a lack of purpose, or a lack of direction to be more precise. A key phrase of hers that appears in the show is, "I want to shine." It's only a desire. There's no how, there's no why. Everyone has their own personal definition of success. Perhaps it's friendship, love, fame, wealth, the very process of creating within itself. The possibilities run on and on. Ohana has a raw emotion pushing her forward, but no guidance towards where to go. This aspect of her character resonated with me so strongly, I don't know if words can do it justice, but I've got to at least try. At that time, I had to start figuring out what I was going to do with my life. Would I go to college? What would I study? What did I even want to do? There were many times where the pure desire to do something, a thing that was burning hot in my chest, but with no outlet towards what. Sometimes I would feel so emotionally overwhelmed that I would just cave up in a blanket with some emotional music, in a way I'm sure many of you are familiar with yourselves. These are experiences I now know to be shared by others, yet at the time I felt like an outlier, an anomaly. Everyone else seemed to have their life figured out. They all seemed so satisfied and filled with direction, and here I was without a clue. Ohana gave me a companion, showed me I wasn't alone in this feeling, and that it was okay. Ohana never stops looking forward, trying to better herself and find that passion, that spark, that shine, to befriend those around her and find happiness in everyday life, even in the mundane things. She exhibits the qualities I desire in myself, and echoes just enough of myself for it to feel possible. Ohana is one of those characters I'm attracted to on a mental and emotional level. Her personality, her worldview, it all fits in line with what I want for myself. And yeah, perhaps my 2 years younger self projected just a tad, but I really feel like there's something special about Hanasaku Iroha, and maybe if you give it a chance, you'll see what I mean. Thanks for watching. This may be my most personal video yet, but I feel like I had to do it as the subject means a lot to me, and really I've been wanting to do this video for quite a long time. I just finally found the words and the motivation to get it all down. If you're looking for more content of mine, I'd recommend my video on Tsukigakurei's use of text messages to tell a love story. Or if you're interested in hearing even more of my thoughts on Ohana, you can listen to my half-hour podcast where I ramble on about just that, though I'm sure there will be a lot of redundancies between that and this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if you'd like to see more of these highly personal and emotional type of video essays. It's a bit of an experiment, but it's definitely something I'd like to do more of if you enjoy it. Finally, if you want to hear more of my general thoughts on stuff or just want to say hi, I recommend following me on Twitter @KorReviews. I'll catch you all in the next one.